Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Bobby Hall here with RC Hall Art. That's Robert Carson Hall Art, my full name. So, in this channel, I'd like to share my experience as a teacher and what I find to be healthy practice habits. I've been an artist and being paid to be an artist since I was 15. I was a musician then. I teach music now and have a lot of experience walking students through the creative process and trying to overcome fears and obstacles that they set in their way. We all set in our way when it comes to creating. One thing I've been thinking about lately is what actually helps an artist to improve. I don't talk about techniques, I'm not talking about materials or some sort of artistic secrets. I'm talking about their deeper qualities that allow us to grow over a lifetime. For me, today, I'd like to talk about three of those characteristics. First, ambition. Ambition often gets a bad rap. We talk about ambition, and I think at the same time we think about egotistical self-centeredness. And maybe that is part of it, but at least when we have ambition to become a better person, that's a good example of it. And in this example with painting, I'm not talking about fame or galleries or selling paintings. That may not happen in my career or yours or anyone else's. What I'm talking about is the desire to become a better painter today than I was yesterday. I want to see what I'm capable of and how I might grow. I think most artists have this. We look at our work and immediately see possibilities. We see things we could improve. We see areas where we want to develop. That ambition isn't something to be ashamed of. It's one of the engines that keeps us moving forward. The second characteristic is a love of problem solving. Every artist has to solve problems. As a musician, I was confronted with many developmental problems with any composition. Has its own characteristics and its own direction. The same thing is true in painting. We may have problems where we're dealing with color, composition, or some sort of technique. In these paintings that you're looking at today, I am trying to learn to paint with thin layers of paint, almost watered down to watercolor sort of tendencies with acrylic paint. I want to learn how to glaze and be able to see the underpaintings below what I'm working with. So not all of these are turning out and looking amazing, but at least I'm getting a chance to experiment with what it's like to paint with thin layers and see the one below. That's the problem solving I'm working on with these small pieces. Now, the pieces that I had at the beginning of the video, I will also show at the end. Those are some that I feel like are a little better developed. They look great, they're larger, and I might consider them to be done. Nonetheless, I'm here showing up today with the idea that I want to learn to paint with thin layers. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about that artists can use as a characteristic is the idea of self-discipline. Self-discipline can come in any form that you define it as for yourself. It may be showing up every day to do 20 minutes worth of work in a sketchbook, kind of like I'm doing here with these small things. It could be just, 10 minutes of just doodling a little bit. It could be 8 hours in a studio. When I used to be a practicing musician, I practiced anywhere from 2 to 6 hours a day. I was maintaining skills that in genres like classical guitar and jazz that were quite difficult, and I had to work a lot to maintain those skills. So any way that you can create self-discipline, it's good. As a teacher in music, I have fundamental methods that I teach my students, like the practice game, where they have to repeat something 3 times or 5 times or 10 times. And there's all these layers to the practice game that help them to feel like they're able to accomplish their daily goals. We never set the practice game goals as something that has to be done in 2 weeks. Usually in lessons, especially with the musicians that I see, we're trying to achieve goals today. And for me, that keeps momentum going, makes me feel good. And at the end, I feel like I've accomplished something. These warm-ups that we're looking at in this video are the same thing for me. I feel good when I finish these little warm-ups, no matter how they turned out. I know that I tried something. I was creating, I was learning through my creations. And, you know, if I do these on a semi-regular basis, then I'm definitely going to improve. As a music teacher running my own business, I don't have time to paint every single day, but maybe one day I will. And I love it enough that I could do that and probably not get burned out. So let's remember, ambition can be a good thing. We want to get better at art, and that's a good ambition. The ambition to be a better person is a good form of ambition. A sense of problem-solving passion or passion for problem-solving is also something that's good. Maybe you enjoyed math, maybe not. I did. I like solving problems in math. But if you didn't enjoy math, that doesn't mean you're not going to enjoy problem solving with music or with painting. You know, just the attitude that you approach it with and the freedom that you give yourself to be imperfect will help that energy to stay sustainable. And then with self-discipline, you know, you can define it however it works for you. That's the beauty of art. There is no one fixed way to do things. Personally, I like keeping, right now, I like this little journal of small paintings that I do on a regular basis. I spend anywhere from a half hour to an hour and a half with them, depending upon how many I'm doing. And the pressure's off. I don't have to create anything perfect. And I'm able to show up every day and enjoy the process and just be grateful that I had the time to create something. So if you put these ambition, problem-solving passion, and discipline together, you are going to come up with a formula that will ensure that you have a sustainable, artistic, creative flow almost all of the time. Remember, the most important thing is to enjoy yourself and to have fun. If you're enjoying this process and you love what you do on a daily basis, or that you just find joy in it, you will want to do it every day. So whatever form of ambition, problem solving, and discipline you create, try to make sure you create some form of it that allows you to experience joy, peace, and ease with your processes. All right, well, have a good time. Enjoy yourself. That's the goal. Enjoy painting. I hope you guys have a great day.